tragic life, that's what people called it. But the way Don Drysdale died, that was just the final blow in a lifetime of chaos. From threatening lawsuits to drilling batters in the ribs, Drysdale was never just a pitcher. He was a menace. And there's one moment they never told the truth about. Don Drysdale stood 6 feet 6 inches tall. He threw fastballs at 95 miles per hour. His stare made hitters step out of the box before he even threw a pitch. This wasn't just intimidation. This was psychological warfare. "I hate all hitters," Drysdale once said. "I start a game mad, and I stay that way until it's over." Those weren't empty words. He meant every single one. But here's what they don't tell you about Big D. His career was built on fear, pure fear, and the chaos that followed him everywhere he went. From beanballs that left opponents sprawled in the dirt to clubhouse fights that made headlines. There was even the day he decided to ignore his own manager and drill a batter in the back instead of walking him. This is the story of a man who terrorized baseball for 14 years, and how his death at 56 revealed secrets that MLB wanted buried forever. Drysdale never planned to be a pitcher. He played every position except pitcher in youth baseball. Then in his senior year at Van Nuys High School, the starting pitcher didn't show up for a game. They threw Don on the mound. That accidental moment changed everything. Without years of traditional pitching development, Drysdale relied on raw arm strength and competitive fire. This created the hard-throwing, intimidating style that became his trademark. But it also created a monster. In 1995, while still in the minor leagues, Drysdale broke his hand punching a soft drink machine in a fit of rage. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was a pattern. His temper controlled him as much as he tried to control batters. When the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles in 1958, they played at the Coliseum. The stadium wasn't built for baseball. The left field fence was only 250 feet from home plate. Hard-throwing pitchers like Drysdale got hammered. Home runs that should have been routine fly balls became embarrassing blasts over the short fence. This made Drysdale even more aggressive. If batters could take him deep on cheap home runs, he'd make them pay. He'd pitch inside, he'd brush them back, he'd remind them who owned that mound. The psychological warfare was legendary. Before games, Drysdale would poke Mickey Mantle in the ribs and ask, "Where do you want it today?" This wasn't friendly banter. This was a threat. Willie Mays said, "No one was meaner than Drysdale. I was knocked down every at-bat by Drysdale. Not every game, every at-bat." Frank Robinson added, "He was mean enough to do it, and he did it continuously. You could count on him doing it. And when he did it, he just stood there on the mound and glared at you to let you know he meant it." Some batters would opt out of lineups when Drysdale was scheduled to pitch. Think about that. Professional baseball players refused to play rather than face him. That's not respect, that's terror. But here's where the story gets dark. In 1968, Drysdale set a record for consecutive scoreless innings. 58 and 2/3 innings without allowing a run. It was incredible, historic, and completely tainted. During the game where he broke Walter Johnson's record, Phillies manager Gene Mauch asked the umpire to check Drysdale for foreign substances. The umpire found a greasy substance in his hair. He warned Drysdale to stop using it. That should have been the end of the story, except it wasn't. In his 1990 autobiography, Drysdale admitted he used spit mixed with slippery elm. He cheated. He gained an unfair advantage during his most famous achievement, and MLB let it slide. They celebrated the record while ignoring the cheat. But Drysdale's biggest controversy came off the field. In 1966, he and Sandy Koufax staged a joint holdout. They refused to report to spring training. They demanded a 3-year, $1 million contract to split between them. This was unprecedented. Players didn't band together like this. They didn't challenge the owner's control. Drysdale and Koufax were breaking every unwritten rule in baseball. The public reaction was brutal. Fans called them greedy, selfish, ungrateful. The Dodgers launched a public relations campaign to turn everyone against them. It worked. The press coverage was overwhelmingly negative. For 32 days, they held out. They skipped spring training entirely. To make money during the standoff, they signed contracts to appear in a movie called Warning Shot. Koufax agreed to co-write his autobiography. They were making backup plans while baseball burned around them. Dodgers owner Walter O'Malley refused to negotiate with them as a unit. He knew what this meant. If players could band together like this, they could challenge everything. The reserve clause, owner control, the entire power structure of baseball. Other owners shared his fear. This was dangerous precedent. If Drysdale and Koufax won, every player in baseball would want the same treatment. The holdout ended on March 30th, 1966. Actor Chuck Connors helped arrange a meeting between the players and general manager Buzzy Bavasi. Koufax signed for $130,000, making him the highest-paid player in baseball. Drysdale got $105,000. They didn't get their $1 million, but they got something more valuable. They proved players could fight back. This holdout paved the way for arbitration and free agency. It fundamentally changed baseball economics forever. But at what cost? Drysdale was now seen as a troublemaker, a problem player who challenged authority. His reputation took another hit. After retiring in 1969 due to a torn rotator cuff, Drysdale moved into broadcasting. For 2 decades, he was a familiar voice calling games. He had some bright moments. His call of Steve Garvey's walk-off home run in 1984 was memorable. Deep right field, way back. Cotto going back to the wall. It's gone. Home run Garvey, and there will be tomorrow. He even hosted a nationally syndicated radio show called Radio Baseball Cards. 162 episodes of stories and anecdotes from current and former players. But his intimidating persona followed him into retirement. In 1979, while working for the California Angels, Drysdale got into heated confrontations on the team plane with manager Jim Fregosi and pitcher Jim Barr. Drysdale questioned whether Barr's injury was legitimate. The injury was keeping Barr from pitching in the playoffs. After Drysdale confronted Barr, Fregosi stepped in to defend his player. It nearly came to blows at 30,000 feet. Drysdale apologized the next day, but the damage was done. His intensity, while effective on the mound, created friction in collaborative environments. The intimidator couldn't turn it off. Watching hitters bail out of the box was a lot like watching fans flip channels today, except now you've got Fubo. With over 100 channels, no contracts, and all the live sports you can handle, it's the only platform Don Drysdale might have liked. Total control, no nonsense. Check it out using the affiliate link below. July 3rd, 1993. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Don Drysdale was there to broadcast a game for the Dodgers. He was 56 years old, still working, still traveling. That morning, the team was scheduled to depart for their next city. Drysdale didn't show up at the departure time. Hotel staff went to check on him. They found him face down in his hotel room. Don Drysdale was dead. The news shocked everyone. Sandy Koufax said, "Don is one of those people you didn't think anything could ever happen to." Vin Scully announced the news with a broken heart, calling it the toughest broadcast of his career. But here's what they found in his hotel room that revealed the man behind the monster. Among his belongings was a cassette tape of Robert F. Kennedy's victory speech after the 1968 California Democratic presidential primary. In that speech, given moments before his assassination, Kennedy had noted Drysdale's 6th straight shutout that evening. The crowd cheered. It was a moment of triumph intertwined with tragedy. Drysdale had carried this tape with him wherever he went since Kennedy's death. This revealed something nobody expected. Beneath the tough, intimidating exterior was a man capable of deep emotion. The fierce competitor who terrorized hitters for 14 years was profoundly affected by the loss of a political leader he admired. But here's the lie they never addressed. During his famous 1968 scoreless inning streak, Drysdale used foreign substances. He admitted it in his own book. Yet MLB and the media never publicly scrutinized it. They celebrated the record while ignoring the cheat. The streak that defined his legacy was built on deception, and everyone looked the other way. Despite everything, baseball honored Don Drysdale. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1984. His plaque specifically noted his intimidating style of play. Even in death, he was remembered as the Intimidator. But the truth is more complex. Drysdale wasn't just controversial, he was protected. His record-breaking performance was tainted by his own admission, yet it stands without asterisk or explanation. He changed baseball in ways people still don't fully understand. The 1966 holdout he staged with Koufax fundamentally altered player rights. Modern free agency exists because of what they started. Don Drysdale died alone in a hotel room, carrying the weight of a political tragedy that happened 25 years earlier. The man who made a career out of intimidation was, in the end, just human. Flawed, complex, and far more vulnerable than anyone realized. His legacy remains what it always was: a Hall of Fame talent who mastered the art of psychological warfare, a player who changed the economics of baseball forever, and a man whose greatest achievement was built on a lie that nobody wanted to discuss. That's the real story of Don Drysdale, not just the intimidator, but the man behind the myth.